Hey everybody, it's Mr. C. These are the videos that I do when I'm out. Okay, so I'm going to give you 3 tasks today. You should have plenty of time to work on all 3. As I've been saying all week, the quiz for the Power Words is today. So the very first thing I want you to do is the Power Words quiz week 4. All right, you guys have been nailing it. The funny thing with these is the longer they get, the better you are at doing them because it's the words you've seen 3, 4 weeks in a row. All right. It's out of 100. You will get immediate feedback on how you did. And then come Monday, if you got a 75 or below, I will have the paper copies for the makeup. So this is the first thing you have to do. All right. Second is amplify. And this is going to be your test to see if you could get to where you need to go on amplify. So first of all, you're going to go into Launchpad, get to Amplify. The lesson is called Using Text Details in Writing. We've been in that lesson all week. And then it is number 10, which is the solo. And while I'm at it, I will assign it to all of you right now. This should show up in your to-do list, but if it doesn't, it's going to be in past work. Okay. So number 10 is the solo. Solos go like this all the time. You could almost ignore cards 1 and 2 every single time with the solo. Cards 1 is the directions. Card 2 is just the text that we're reading. If the text doesn't show up or something like it's doing for me, you just hit refresh, it pops up. All right. You don't have to highlight 2 things in your reading that grab your attention. I'm not going to ask you to do that. All right. So 1 and 2 you can ignore. Card 3 is place the events in the correct order. This is a very short selection from the doll book. We already read it. It's a minute and a half, and I'm going to really encourage all of you to go back and reread this or listen to it with headphones on. Okay. This is the scene where they find the mouse. So it's asking you to put the events in correct order. The top up here, that's the first thing that happened. Second, third on the bottom. Okay, I didn't mean to move that. So the first event that happens goes on the top, and then you work your way down. All right. Number 4, card 4 is the same thing. This is 5 events you have to put in order. I'm going to tell you this. The first one, it starts with the last lesson ended. Okay, it can be a little bit confusing. I don't want to screw anybody up, but the first thing you're going to do is move the last lesson ended to the top, and then you're going to read. You're going to have to think about these events because the way it's written and the order in which it actually happened can seem different if you're not paying close attention. So please be careful there. Number 5, who came up with the idea for the Great Mouse plot? Pretty simple. 6, which portion of the text describes what Doll wanted to do with the dead mouse? It's A or B. It's very, very, very simple. You should have no problem with that. 7, I gotta move my little box here, is click on the paragraph that shows how Doll is proud of his role in the Great Mouse plot. There are A through G. It doesn't say I'm proud, but it shows you that he's feeling quite proud. So pick the one that best represents that. And 8 is make a prediction. What do you think is going to happen next in the Great Mouse plot? You don't have to use a quote in your writing here, but you do need a prediction. And then you need to explain why you think that. Okay, so it does have to be based on the story. Obviously, I'm not going to grade you on whether or not your prediction is right or not. So just show me that you understand the book, make a fair prediction, tell me why you think that. That's it. You don't have to pull a quote, you don't have to do CER, just explain yourself as best as possible. Right. Third is the Wednesday Wars questions. All right. So we did the first part of the chapter yesterday in September. I gave you a little bit of time to do the vocabulary. So if you don't have all of those done, maybe work on that. And you have a handful of questions here. With just the 6 or 7 pages that we read so far, you can definitely answer 1, 2, 3, and 4. All right. What is the setting of the story? Include the time and place. You guys can do that. Why was Holly left with Miss Baker on Wednesday afternoons? That's on page 3. I stopped the class and explained that he was going, so his friends go to a different place on Wednesday afternoons. Who's the protagonist, which is Holling, who's the antagonist, and describe both characters. And then number 4, and this was in the beginning part 2, why is it important to Holling's dad that Holling do nothing to antagonize Miss Baker? Why doesn't Holling's dad want Holling to make Miss Baker mad? Antagonize is like, make someone mad. So anyway, that is your 3 tasks. You guys have plenty of time to do all 3. The quiz is graded, and so is the solo. So please make sure you're taking your time with that. And I will see you later.